guys, Fulu come to you with another commentary. Don't think that uh, it's like the situation is not happening to like um people, women of higher caliber, and what I mean by that they're in a higher position in terms of like finances, in terms of their like their I guess you can say, like, in terms of their level. Don't think it's that it's just like with lower level women who are lower level modern women who are experiencing what they're experiencing, showing themselves, showing their hands on what's going on. So this is going to be twofold, what I'm going to do, but there is, I guess you can say, for better or for worse, I guess you can say she's a A-lister. Yeah, I mean, I guess you can call her an A-lister. Yeah, A-lister. There is an A-lister by the name of Drew Barrymore. I'm pretty sure that many people have heard of, like that you have heard of her name. And she was in movies, like I think she did a movie, I think she was in one of the Batman movies. I think she was in a couple of other movies. I can't remember any of them. But, the thing is that she, she had her prime years, right? But in those prime years, she was dealing with some skeletons from her childhood, which that had to do with like substance abuse and had to do with things of that nature. And because she was dealing with those things, like you would catch her partying all the time, you would catch her like out on the scene all the time, and I think that in itself turned into an addiction for her. And at the same time, I think what happened was that, she had like a lot of hot girl summers. She had quite a few hot girl summers. And, after she had those hot girl summers, she found like a simp. And the thing is, the simp, I think they had 2 kids together. The simp came to his senses, and I guess there was irreconcilable. I don't know what that word is called, but there were differences in the marriage, and so they divorced. But now, at 46 years old, she is here. Let me find the video. Hope they don't like strike me, but let me try to find the video. Okay, here we go.
Guys, didn't y'all believe that all those puzzle ads were fake? And there's no such game, but today I finally found the game.
I am,
Not ready for that.
I don't know how to date with kids. I'm not there yet. I have 2 young girls, and I'm like, I don't want to bring people home. I think that it would take me.
So you see the kind of beta male interviewer trying to thing like that, like comfort her and stuff like that. And the thing is, I really can't feel sorry for any of these women. Like there's no bone in my body that can really feel sorry or really feel bad for them, because they, like, let's say if the shoe was on the other foot, like there would be no sympathy for us, you know what I mean? Like, and so they called for feminism, right? And feminism, although it was never about equality to begin with, I'm going to play it straight. That's the thing with me. I'm going to play it straight down the road. Like, so if you say you're a feminist and stuff like that, then I'll be like, okay, cool. Like, and it'll be from an equality standpoint. I'm not going to play it from oh, I got to worship, oh, I got to feel sorry for this woman standpoint. No, I'm not going to play it from that standpoint. But that's the standpoint which male feminists play it from. And it's really sad that they do exist. You know, it's sad to say it, man, but there are quite a few male feminists, believe it or not. You know, they're weak, to say the least. Like, they're weaklings, but yes, they do exist. They do indeed exist. There are such thing as male feminists, right? I don't even, to be honest with you though, I don't even know how you can even be a male feminist. I wouldn't even know how to be a male feminist. But you know, you see her crying, saying that, you know, she doesn't know how to date. And the thing is this, let this even be more like revelation to us guys, that even these A-listers, even these Hollywood women don't know how to function as like regular. Even these Hollywood women don't know how to be on the fitra. Okay? She said, I don't know how to date. That let's just be honest. Regular women don't know how to date. Regular women don't even know how to, like, let's be real, like, regular women don't even know how to be a girlfriend. You know, at this point, modern women, at least modern Western women, don't know how to be a girlfriend. All they want to do is take. You know, like, let's just be honest. You've seen my past videos with the requirements that they require. You know what I mean? But let's continue.
A very long time to meet someone and get to know them before I could even ever introduce them to my daughters.
And I don't think anybody knows how to do anything.
Well, and you see how he's like having sympathy for her. And the thing is this, like, as a man, and I would probably be kicked off the show if I you know, did the interview. But as a man, I would say, well, you know, what makes you think that guy is going to want to, like, be introduced to your kids? You know, like, if anything, that guy, if he has any dignity for himself, he's not going to want to see your kids, you know? He's not going to want to do that, right? He's going to want to stay as far away as possible from the kids, you know, because at the end of the day, he's not going to want to take care of the kids. So, like, what are you talking about? Like, I really don't know what she's talking about, you know, like, that it makes no sense to me.
Right. So don't put that pressure on yourself that you don't know how to do it. I think going into it, saying to yourself, I don't know how to do it, is the first step of figuring out how to do it. Because it's those people that go in like, I know what I'm doing. I got this. You know what? It's not going to affect my kids.
Which, you know, he's just at this point just like gassing her up. Like, at this point, he's just gassing her up and stuff like that. You know, if you were functioning like on a regular level, like, you would know how to do that. You would know how to do it. The first thing you would have to do is, number one, and I'm not suggesting this to any guy. You don't want to mess with no single mothers. You know, even if they're A-listers in Hollywood, you don't want to even mess with them. You know, but anyhow, the first thing you would do, obviously, would just be to ask, hey, you know, is this okay? You know, that I have 2 kids. Are you all right with that? You know, are you cool with me having 2 kids and things like that? And if he's cool with it, he's cool with it. And if he's not, he's not. And you just move on. You know what I mean? That's just pretty much what it comes down to. I mean, I don't see what the complications are. You know, I really don't. Well, let's continue.
Like, you're thinking about that, and you're thinking how it's going to affect them, and you're being careful about it, which means you're a good mom.
Oh my God.
That you're an amazing mother. Don't question.
You see how, you know, it's sad when dudes set us back, bro. It's even worse. Like, we expect it from women. Like, I expect it. I expect to be called all the names in the book from women. You know, I expect that. At this point, I've accepted that it comes with the territory. You know, I've accepted that. It comes with the territory. You know, so I'm cool with that. You know, I don't mind. You know, I've been called all types of names. I've been called I've been called every name you can think of in the book. So I'm cool with that. That's fine. I don't mind. However, like, when these dudes like just gas them up, it's sad. You know, and it doesn't do him any good, and it doesn't do us as a collective any good. They have the sisterhood for that. You don't need to be part of the sisterhood.
That at all.
I agree with you, Bobby Berg. Drew Barrymore, don't.
Now, here is something else that is true. This is absolutely true. And the thing is, you know, for some reason, this show actually set the trend for what we see what's going on right now. It was a show, I think, in the early 2000s. It was based on a novel called Sex in the City. In essence, you know, it caught, I guess you can say, it caught fire, and it caught fire to everybody. And you know, you had all types of women who were just trying to emulate these characters on there. And I mean, all these characters did pretty much were they were the epitome of feminism. They would work. I think the plot was based on them working at a law firm, and all they would pretty much do, most of them on the cast on the show, would just ride the carousel with various different guys, and then they would find one main guy, and then after finding one main guy, sometimes it didn't work out, and then they would go back on the carousel. I think that was pretty much the synopsis of the show was, you know. But listen to this.
Jesus Christ is the most important person who ever lived. And yet there's so much we don't know about him.
Sometimes I come across an article online that is related to continuously for a long time by a lot of people working together for their own interest to deceive women and take advantage of them. No, I'm not talking about the patriarchy or Muslim men. I'm talking about certain nihilistic Western atheist elites who have engineered certain social norms
and it goes back to that thing that I talked about on my previous page, social engineering. You know, there's certain things that they social engineer that you know you wouldn't think would be social engineer, but they just did it, and they normalized it. You know, like, that's the thing. It became normalized.
Program people to operate in a very particular way for their own agenda and at the expense of women. This lie was broadcast everywhere, all over the media, in Hollywood, on TV shows and movies, in books and novels, in popular magazines, in song lyrics, in the hallowed halls of Ivy League academia. It was a concerted, targeted marketing campaign. What was the lie that was told to women en masse since the 1960s and up until today? Women were told, you can have it all. You can have it all. You, the average woman, can be everything. And
Yeah, that's true. I mean, when they say you can have it all, that what they're basically ensuring is they're saying, okay, you can work like a man, you can basically, I guess you can say, run a household like a man, and also you can have relations like a man, meaning carousels.
have everything all at once. Listen to us and your life will work out. One of the most popular TV shows on American television was a 6-season hit show called Sex and the City. And its basic premise is that the modern woman can have it all. She can be forever young, sexy, independent, fun-loving, and successful, all on her own.
Yeah, that's it. Boss babes, bad itches, all of that, you know.
She can live a fun, fulfilling life in the big city, working a full-time job and going out with her friends and having casual sex with random men.
And that's true. That's what the show was about. And believe it or not, that's what modern women like, you know, like as long as they're attracted to a random man, then he's pretty much in the green zone.
There's no need for a marriage, no need for a woman to burden herself with the heavy weight of marriage, a husband, or motherhood.
And, you know, that's part of the fitra, but we're not going to talk about that.
Just yet, all that can wait. But decades after the show was blasted all across the US and the world, affecting generations of women, something happened. Candice Bushnell, at the age of 60, who wrote the original 1997 novel, which spawned the successful TV series for HBO, opened up to Sunday Times magazine about her 2012 divorce. She admitted that it made her realize how not starting a family made her feel.
So, I mean, she was probably living out her book. You know, her book probably took reality and she just decided, okay, I'm going to make it a hot girl summer. And then because she did that, you know, that's why she found herself divorced and in the situation she's probably in right now.
Truly alone. Candice said, quote, when I was in my 30s and 40s, I didn't think about it. Then, when I got divorced and I was in my 50s, I started to see the impact of not having children and of truly being alone. I do see now that people with children have an anchor in a way that people who have no kids don't. End quote. But what will all the women do who were misguided by the show Candice made? This mistake of a show led women, young women, astray into lives of empty consumerism and corporate climbing.
Yeah, that's pretty true. I mean, when you think about it, that's pretty true. Like, you know, most of the women that, you know, most of the, like, quote unquote boss babes or whatever, they work in the corporate world and then they're in debt, you know, like they're in hella debt. They like have nice cars and stuff like that, but you know, the car is like that car is, I won't say contributing to the debt, but the car has to be, I guess you can say, there is a payment most of the time especially when it's nice.
What will the show's creator belated regret?
This is you. Or at least it could be you. You've been island hopping through Greece with a group of people you just met.
What will the show's creator, belated regret, do for all these women who got duped? Can it turn back time? Can these women go back and get their youth back and get married and have a family earlier?
No. That's why they're upset. They're upset. And they're blaming us for that too. That's the thing. They're blaming us. They're blaming us for their choice of men. You know what I mean?
No. There is a book entitled Subverted: How I Helped the Sexual Revolution Hijack the Women's Movement. The author is a woman named Sue Ellen Browder, who worked as a long-time freelance writer for Cosmopolitan magazine, one of the most popular women's magazines that is pored over religiously by Western women.
Yeah, that magazine is crazy because even on every single cover of the magazine, I've just seen it at the supermarket sometimes. On every single cover of the magazine, you see something that says how to blow his mind, or how to do this trick on him. 10 moves that'll make him not want to leave you. Like just things like that, just decadent things. And guess what? There's nothing about marriage in there. Nothing at all.
She wrote articles meant to market unmarried sex, contraception, and abortion as the single woman's path to personal fulfillment. She did not realize until much later that propagandists higher and cleverer than herself were influencing her thinking and her personal choices as they subverted the women's movement for their own gain. Sue openly came out and said that the writers at Cosmopolitan magazine, including herself, lied to women. They sold them a complete and total lie. The aim of the writers was to entice women away from their families, away from home, away from their protective male kin. And
that's the thing. That's what kind of has occurred now more than ever, is that women will call their male relatives oh, he's too strict, or oh, he's too protective and stuff. And really, most of the time you'll find that the male relatives who have good intentions, and the male relatives who are actually really having the best interests of the woman, they are usually the public enemy number one of the woman.
Into the big cities, into their own apartment, and with the freedom to engage in promiscuous behavior with strange men. No one could have gotten women to act this way at that time with direct instructions like abandon your traditional mindset, leave your family values behind, sidestep your male protection, and go sleep around with random men. Don't worry about getting married young or having kids. Just get your higher education and form your identity and your life around your career.
Yeah, that's pretty true. There's nothing wrong with a woman having a career. There's nothing wrong with it, but what they did is they put the career first, and they put it first to a certain extent where when they felt like they had the career, that they basically were doing something that we haven't done before, that we haven't been doing for all of our lives. That's what happened when they got the careers. That's the mentality in which they took.
Who needs men? No, you can't say that straight up to women and expect them to follow these vile instructions. You have to soft pedal the idea. You have to make it seem.
Now you can say it to these women. You can, they say it all the time on TikTok. Before you couldn't, but now you can. Absolutely. Now you can say that.
Exciting and freeing. You have to carefully manufacture the desire within women so that they feel that it's a desire they naturally have. And this is crucial, you have to make it seem necessary by creating worry, anxiety, and fear within women around marriage, relationships, and men. The fear-mongering goes something like this. Men are abusive. Men are toxic. Men will screw you over and leave you with the kids and run off with another woman. You better protect yourself. You better learn how to stand on your own 2 feet and get your own finances and never trust a man. Get ready to...
So, and that's exactly what happened, you know, and it's messed up because the guys who did actually mean well, you know, what happens is instead of them getting well, even though they mean well, the woman usually runs game around them because of the simple fact that, you know, like she's used to a certain way and things like that. And when those certain ways aren't like in place, then, you know, she feels compelled to just find excitement.
Take to make it on your own after your inevitable divorce. And
you see how they use the word inevitable, like inevitable divorce, like so, like it, and that's the problem. Like a lot of Western women, that's the thing about it. That's the thing about modern Western women. A lot of modern Western women, they go into the marriage already thinking about divorce. They don't go into the marriage thinking about, okay, I want to make this work. I want to do this, you know, in case there's kids involved. I want to do things the right way. Listen, they're not even thinking about that. Most of the time, in the back of their head, they're thinking, okay, how many years do I want to stay married with this guy before I like decide that I'm done with him? You know, that's what they're thinking. They're not thinking of long term.
Gradually, women slowly started to respond to this implicit message. Gradually, women slowly started to respond to this implicit messaging and cultural brainwashing. They moved out, got their own place away from home, got highly educated, got on birth control, started working full-time, and started having casual sex in lieu of marriage. If they somehow got pregnant, they got abortions. Kids didn't figure into this glamorous, fast-paced, independent lifestyle. And these women were turned into consumers. Women were now independent earners in the capitalist machine, and earners can be converted into consumers. Women read the women's magazines and learned to live and think this way. Every girl wants to be a Cosmo girl. But Sue Ellen Browder, the writer who wrote those Cosmo articles, herself converted to Catholicism, to the Roman Catholic Church, and repented, feeling guilty over what she did and how she blatantly lied to millions of women.
But the thing is, her forgiveness won't be accepted because, you know, I'm gonna speak from like a Islamic point of view. The thing is, if you encourage someone into sin, you know what I mean, and that person does the sin, then you get some of that punishment. So the thing is, her list is long because there's so many women that followed that lead, and so because they followed that lead, it's like you know, with them following that lead, all the women who followed that lead, she gets a brunt of some of that, you know.
And so she wrote her book. Here are some interesting words some female readers of the book Subverted had to say. I am almost 3/4 of a century old. I lived these lies. I was taken in by the Kool-Aid of these lies. I am grateful for the platform for which Browder exposes these lies. The whole house of cards needs to fall down. The American family has almost been devastated by these lies. Any civil...
And guys, I don't want you to think that it's just like belligerent women. I don't want you to think it's just like black women. It's all across the board, okay? There's single parenthood all across the board. It's not just with belligerent women. It's with Denegro women. It's with Latin women. Hell, it's even hit some part of the Asian community as well. It's everywhere. It's not just in one place.
That kills its young in the womb and rips the mother out of the family unit will fall. Another person wrote about the book, this book blows the whistle on the events which led to the hijacking of the women's liberation movement by cynical, exploitative, nihilistic individuals.
The women's liberation movement was never a movement to liberate women. That's the whole thing that they make the mistake about.
Shows the resulting societal maladies, widespread divorce, sex without love, feminization of poverty, pervasive fear and angst, and, I would add, deepening confusion about personal identity for both men and women. Another commentator wrote, the unattainable Cosmo girl is a fabrication and a harmful one at that, a total lie. Another wrote, this book helps us see that she was too glib with the new party line that said it sought to free women from men and from offspring, and how it bravely invented false stats to get its own way, a way no longer recommended by Sue, who used to preach it. Stats, incidentally, still cited today as if gospel truth by those who wish to believe them and maintain the bondage. 2, to see how, in all the ups and downs of marriage and motherhood, it is still the way to go. End quote. This is the background to which the modern world we live in today. These are some of the factors that have shaped the society many Muslims have immigrated.
People always ask me, hey, what's your favorite car? Well, that's impossible to answer because they're all so different. What's my favorite shirt?
The factors that have shaped the society many Muslims have immigrated to over the past several decades. We Muslims send our kids to these schools, and our kids watch these movies and TV shows, and our daughters read these popular magazines. Add to these Western cultural influences,
and we can see the effect on that. Hell, all you have to do is go on Clubhouse to see the effect of it. As I said before, it's at the point where I won't even mess with a Western Muslim woman. I don't give a crap what her background is. Like she can be from she can be from the heart of Dakar. You know, she can be from the heart of Dakar. She can be from the center of Conakry, and I still wouldn't entertain her because I know she's been lost in the sauce. The worst ones, I'm just going to be honest with you, I'm just going to be completely funky. The worst ones are the Somalians and Ethiopians. Me and my friend were having a conversation about this earlier. Godly. It's just, ooh boy. Just stay away from them. Just stay away from the westernized ones. That's all I got to say about that.
The baggage we bring with us from some of our own Muslim countries. An obsession with prestigious degrees and higher education. A desire for status for the family. greed, and a deep inferiority complex around the West, and a sycophantic wish to assimilate. And then our daughters grow up to be young women who suddenly and seemingly inexplicably want to make sure they are financially stable and independent, because you never know, and just in case, because many men are abusive and lots of toxic masculinity exists, and maybe divorce will happen, and what if the husband dies or cheats? This angst.
Yeah, and that, I mean, at the end of the day, in terms of the cheating thing, that's kind of like why polygamy is in place. You know, like that's the reason why it's in place. But you know, you can't tell these boss women anything. You know, although they have it in them to accept it, they won't accept it.
Suspicion and worry can be traced back to the old social messaging and deliberate engineering. Most Muslim women don't obey the societal dictates fully, to the extent of sleeping around and getting multiple abortions.
Yeah, to like a certain extent, you can say that, but you know, I'm not gonna say anything more. But I slightly disagree, put it that way.
Unfortunately, some Muslim women do. This is not how we're followed. This is not how we followed the non-Muslims into the lizard hole. She's alluding to a hadith there, I think. How we have followed them is having contempt for our men, looking at marriage with suspicion and fear, expecting the worst in marriage in the name of protecting ourselves, delaying marriage in favor of education and or career, denigrating motherhood.
And you can do, that's what I'm saying. It's possible to do both. Like the education is going to be there. It's not a problem. I mean, it can be done. But you can marry too.
Denigrating wifehood, having mistrust with the husband, and rising divorce rates in the Muslim community. We are operating.
That's true.
From a place of fear, manufactured fear, to turn us from wives and mothers into earners who can be turned into consumers. Our aspirations are based on lies. Islam is the truth. Khalid.
Yeah, it's true. Islam is the truth, because like Islam covers every single facet, you know. Like it's nothing you can just like turn off and on. Like, I mean, like the thing is, the deal is though, here's the deal. Like she would have to be worth it. But I mean, initially, like that would be the goal of like a traditional Muslim man, is to have his wife raise his kids. You know what I mean? And be around the kids more than someone else would have to be around the kids, right? That's his purpose. That's what he would want, right? So in order to get that, he would be more or less willing to pay for all the bills. But the thing is that when you make that a requirement and you're not even prepared to be, you don't even know how to be a wife, you don't even know how to be a mother, then like what good is that? You know, what do we get? What good does that do us, you know? But, you know, that's all I got for now on this one. But yeah, social engineering did these women in. You know, I'm not even by. They fell for the sauce. But anyhow, Foolish signing out. Leave your thoughts, leave your comments. And Jarama.